5, 4, 3, 2. We're recording that whole thing. All right. This is going to be a content dump. God damn it, Zack. With this is part 2 of our social distancing
We
episodes.
found someone so far away.
We literally can't find anyone further away. Please, everybody, welcome our good friend Heath Farnden from Australia.
Crikey.
Crikey, there we go.
He
Get a dog
speaks
up here.
Australian too. He also can speak English if he tries.
Hang on. How do, chaps?
Oh, nicely done. And that was straight up for Alyssa Fadden, who we were just talking about before we went on to this recording. And I won't say all of the awful shit that we said about
You
her.
can't. She's right. She's live right now. I think on Twitch with Edwin Nagy and Ian
McGarty. That's right. That's right. The
Talk
giant
about
leprechaun and the Wolverine.
Talk about a hive of scum and villainy, right there.
No kidding. That's
Don't
just
need to see their
awful.
identification.
Yeah. So Heath,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about this T-shirt you're wearing. I'm just gonna dive right in, man.
Yeah.
So, I thought I'd fix the camera so it wasn't back to front. Oh well. I feel like I need
No,
to be like.
we can see it fine. No, we see it fine. We see it fine.
that is
Get
yes. Please
Get
do it
down
that
under.
way.
No, I see it fine.
So this is a little homage to indie, as in an indie gaming convention. The convention organizer Ben came up with that one, and it's absolutely one of my favorites. If
I
I'm
love
not wearing,
that.
if I'm not wearing my own,
It's a little
I'm not wearing
meeple
my
getting
own
run
shirt.
over.
There you go. Shameless plug.
No, you should have. Before you stop shameless plugging, what are you plugging? Do we know what it is?
Yeah.
But does anybody else know?
Yeah, talk about it to everybody.
Okay, to the millions of fans of Skeeter and Zack, this is the Antipode D20, which is my gaming page. I've been doing it for about 5.5 years. I think it was May 2015 I started it. And it was basically just a platform to promote local gameplay, local game design, and anything from interstate or international that happened to tickle my fancy at the time. Something that caught my eye, and I went, yeah, I actually like this. I'm going to give it a shout out. I'm, little sort of humble brag. I'm up to 1,075 page likes, which I just wouldn't have picked when I started.
You're crushing us.
I was going to be happy to have 100, and here I am tenfold on that. But
I'm going to say something nice about you, and you have to just take it, okay? Okay. What makes your page fun, and what made meeting you fun was you are genuinely enthusiastic about games. In a way, there is no. You say this is self-promotion. You're not self-promoting. You're just damn excited. And
yes,
I know there's like only one other guy that I've met is as excited as you, and that's Wonky, Keelan Halverson. He's the only other guy I've met ever that is like when I met you in person. You were just so excited about everything. You didn't know how.
Very enthusiastic.
You're just so excited about being at Garrett. I met you at Garrett, and you haven't been back. And it's unfortunate because we all miss you there.
I want to. It's just unfortunately some timing. See, I've got
it's all timing. The fact that I live on the other effing side of the planet,
right?
Is also. I have not decided. Am I going to go to Canberra for a con? No, I'm not going to Canberra for a con. You know what I'm saying? But generally, your page is successful. It got 1,000 likes because it is genuinely. I mean, when I see it go by, I will stop and click it. I see millions of things fly by my Facebook feed. But your stuff I'll read because I just know that I'm going to like it.
Yeah,
thank you.
I like stuff, but
good stuff.
You really like stuff.
I genuinely try and show people things that I found that they may have seen. It could be from a couple of years ago. You've seen before, deserves another look at, sort of thing. I try to like as much stuff as I can. I try to promote as much stuff as I can, and I still feel like I'm being slack.
There's a lot of games out there.
There's a lot of games.
I feel bad that everything I see I can't then promote because that knife's edge of not wanting to spam people to the point where they unlike the page. You want to try and keep it relevant, keep it fresh, keep context, keep the content something that's deep but wide. If you get what I mean, you want something where people will stop and look, but it will register and people will want to know more rather than just scroll.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
One of these days, Zach and I are going to actually do a recording of the Skeeter Green Takes on Small Publishing and get a bunch of windows with 10 or 12 people, and we're just going to have a roundtable discussion. And I would love to have you on for your
Yes.
perspective.
Oh, cool.
That would be amazing.
No, and we have a list of other people as well that we would like to see on, but it's it would be a lot of fun to do, and we're looking forward to doing it.
Yeah.
We did the Gary Con virtual. We participated versus Gary Con, not as hard as a lot of other people. We spent an hour and a half on the Wizards of the Couch's Twitch channel doing a small publisher thing, but you were all over the place, man. I saw you posted pictures at 4 a.m. my time.
Yeah.
I was up till quite regularly 2:30 in the morning, our time, local time, Adelaide time, and then back up again at sort of 6 a.m. to watch the next lot and just comment about what I'd seen. And you know, the tabletop events page wouldn't let me book any more than one time slot at a time because I just wanted to log and record what I'd seen, and it won't let you do more than one sort of thing. But I was jumping from stream to game. Like I managed to sit in on a couple of games to have a look. You know, I was trying to get on as many seminars to watch any little, even 5 minutes of snippet that would give me an idea for my own stream later. Bugging people about what they're using, like Zoom, and you know, linking it to Facebook Live and linking it to YouTube. And like most of that probably went in one ear at 3 a.m. and out the other ear at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. sort of thing. So I've got a list of names and numbers on a Word document where not numbers, names and details like what I talked about just briefly, you know.
Smart.
So I can
that's smart.
come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Everywhere.
this is a perfect segue into the two major questions that I really want to ask you.
Skeeter Green, you have two questions?
I have. Well,
you only told you
we're gonna do this.
One question, Skeeter Green. One question.
We're gonna do the dipshit questions later, but the two actual questions are.
Oh, you don't even let have any of those, but okay, fine.
So since you have been to the States and you have been to gaming conventions here, what is the difference in gaming between, say, the U.S. and how the Aussies?
Okay.
Or is it very similar?
The list of contents for each con is very similar. The percentage there within differs. Here in Australia, a lot of the independent gaming conventions like ours, like Concentric, there's a lot more board game than role play. I saw at GaryCon a lot more role play than board play. You know, one year after, like I think it was 2017, whoever had the board game library wasn't able to make it, and people were like, "Yeah, we'll just bring a couple of games ourselves." But the convention chugged along on the platform of tabletop gaming.
Right.
Whereas with ours, we had a lot more board gamers, and I mean, I think Concentric's now into its 9th year this year. And there's always been more board gamers than role players. So the percentages differ. Some of the other conventions that I've been to here in Adelaide, Oz Comic Con and something called Supernova, which are pop culture cons. There's a lot of pop culture stuff being sold, you know, the vinyl pops, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's a big culture on meet the celebrity, have an autograph and get a photo type thing. But, you know, you've got to pay to play with that sort of thing.
Is it super expensive down there? Because it's fucking ridiculous up here.
Yes. The last couple of Oz Comic Con and Supernova, last year a couple of them were cancelled. The year before I didn't go, and the year before that I don't think I went, because even get in for one day as an adult is $40 Australian, which would be about 28 US. And then your autographs kind of, for any B+ and above celebrity, start from $50 Australian, and that'd be about 35 US. But more and more now they're hitting those points where, you know, I think I got an autograph from William Shatner, and it was $50 Aussie, and I was quite happy to pay that because I like the man's acting. You know, why can't we? You know,
that was awesome.
It's like a higher version.
I hate to interrupt you with my laughter, but oh my god, that was great.
That was perfect.
Quick to the way team.
Yes.
I need,
So the prices that you're
hang on.
quoting,
He's dead, Jim.
yes.
Uh,
So yeah, the prices that you're quoting for autographs there, like I went to PAX here in.
oh, they've gone up heaps.
So
They've
it's twice as much in American dollars
yeah,
to get autographs from anybody, and it's
just
yeah,
just
because they can
recently
do it.
with that same one. Peter Dinklage was meant to be here, and his autograph was going to be 70 Australian. So it's about 53 US. And he couldn't make it because I think he was doing one of the X-Men movies or something at the time. The last one I contemplated going to, Nathan Fillion was going to be here, and it was $100 an autograph.
Yeah.
When Stan Lee was here before he passed away, it was $200 Australian for an autograph. And I just don't have that. As much as I really wanted to go, and my wife was surprised I didn't go for 200 Australian. Like I couldn't justify that to myself. Like I put money into things like I just recently. Mark Clover in the last 6 months said, "Hey, where can I get a shirt? When I can." And I had a bunch of these done up, and I sent them over, and I sent one to like my brother from another mother, Kevin Turner, who looks a bit like me, and people confused for me in 2017. Yep. So I sent him one because we're having a bit of fun. I got a good mate in the UK that sent me a lot of Lone Wolf stuff, so I sent him one. I sent Luke one sort of thing. I wish he'd wear it a bit more. But I wasn't. I was pouring money into this just to be nice and send things. I think one year I sent a whole bunch of Dyson crap to give away to people relying on Shane Bradley and
I know you sent a care package to Gary Con because I got stuff in it.
Cool. Yeah. I've done that. I haven't done that this year because there was no physical Gary Con.
Right.
I've done it for the last 3 years. Sorry?
No, I was giving you my address. If you want to send stuff, I can see. I'm just kidding.
Well, see, I had from last year's Concentric, I had like keychains for Concentric and the thing made up, and I had a couple of leftovers, and I was going to send them and send some to yourself and send some to Luke and Kevin and that sort of thing. I think I had like maybe 60 left over that I was going to send.
No, I have some stuff you sent me. I was amazed when the package showed up. I was like,
yeah, no, it's
you didn't warn me. All I got was like from over like international. Like I don't know anybody there. No, no, I'm just kidding.
Awesome. But getting back to it, like I haven't monetized this yet. So like Mark said to me, put a link up so I can buy a shirt. I'm like, why would you want to buy a shirt or send you one? He said, no, it costs you money. Let me buy one. So cool.
Yeah. You should listen to him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do want to start doing stuff like that, but I'd rather pour my money into something like that than go and spend easily. And I'm not joking, easily at a convention here where there's pop culture and celebrities, $200-300 without even getting a $200 autograph.
Right.
We had one where Peter Mayhew was here and his autographs for $50 each. I got 4. I got my 3 original Star Wars scripts signed, and a mate of mine who had a Star Wars wedding that I photographed, I got him to autograph the photo to give to my mate, whose marriage has since broken down. So anyway, so I'm going to give that to him.
You autograph for a marriage check. Got it.
Yeah. But I've kind of stopped going to them because I'd rather whatever cash I want to sink into something, I'd rather sink into this to send people like yourself stuff. Mark and even Lloyd Metcalf have kind of virtually gone, why don't you try and do something to make yourself money rather than spend money to give, send us crap. So,
I mean, definitely put something up on your website so people can either do a Patreon or something like that, and get you some operating capital, man.
Yeah, I've got a Redbubble. I've got a Redbubble account, and that's where these come from.
Okay.
I had thought of Patreon. Now, unfortunately, fortunately, I have full-time employment. I'm a salaried manager for the liquor store I work at, and I can't readily commit to giving a regular thing on Patreon to supporters.
Because you're doing local work.
If a staff member is off sick and I can't find someone to cover, I've got to, and if that's a time where I'm meant to do a video for a Patreon supporter, and then that happens too often, I'm worried that I won't be seen to be fulfilling my side of the bargain. So
I
I'm
get
trying to
it.
get a lot. Yeah,
I wouldn't worry about it as much as you are worrying about it, but I appreciate
my
the
nature.
fact that you are worrying about it too. That is an authenticity and love for the hobby that is honestly good to hear.
Yeah, I don't want to. And see, that's the other thing. Like, and in like a humble brag as well. After nearly 6 years putting effort into this, I don't want to stuff it up with anything like that. I want to try and get ducks in a row, then do it. And I mean, people have said, just do
Ooh.
something, just do something, get it going. Which, hey, well, thought you'd cast blur for a second.
Yeah, I fuzzed out there for a minute. I'm a
It was a
wizard.
mirror image, but you know.
I'm a
Yeah,
wizard,
really.
Harry. Okay, so now I can ask my second question because I want to cut Zack off. So with all of the gaming and the Gary Con snafu and the coronavirus, talk and because you are hell and gone from anybody in the United States, uh, social distancing. Talk about
Yeah.
virtual gaming. I mean, what what's the situation in Australia? Are you able to game with people, or is everything online?
The local tech stores have sold out of webcams in record time, and I think that's partly gamers, partly office workers that have got to work from home and need to have a face-to-face. Like
Right.
I've got a mate that works at a local tech store called Office Works, and everything under $200 sold like, you know, a fire sale price sort of thing, and it was still full price. Last I checked in with him, the only thing that was left was like Logitech webcams with all the bells and whistles that were like $1,600 retail.
Yeah,
And
I
he
looked
said
on Amazon today.
people were still considering it.
Yeah, it's gotten just insane.
Yeah.
When I
Toilet
was in
paper, hand
college-
sanitizer, and webcams. I should have bought shares.
When I was in college, a webcam was a dorky nerd thing you did to take little
Yeah.
pictures of yourself. Who knew that at some point it would be
What's up, ladies?
civilization would end without it?
Yeah, I was up in my attic looking for my old webcams just so I could use it for a second one, and couldn't find
The
them.
camera I've got, it's the second one of this model that I've got, and I snagged this one on Facebook Marketplace for a song. I drove 60K, so about 43 miles to go pick it up because I was the first one to respond to her, and she put it on hold for me.
Wow.
Because, the other one broke because my son, who's turned 8 today, kept grabbing
Happy
at the
birthday.
camera, pulled
Happy
it,
birthday.
and pulled the wire out the back. So, until I've got this
My
one,
wife does that.
the back of the camera for the phone is what I've been using mostly.
No, I get it. I want to ask you something though, which just so you know, and I'm so impressed because as a United States citizen, nobody here can go, we drove 60 miles, that's about so many kilometers, or we spent $100, that's so much Australian.
The conversions that you've done in your head,
have
it would take me an
impressed.
hour to look them up.
They are approximate.
Nobody here knows.
Keep in
Oh,
mind.
I'm
that-
outraged.
Keep in mind that I do like friends in the US, friends in Canada, friends in the UK, friends in Europe. I do try to keep a track of what pricing is because quite often if someone says, hey, there's a sale on for this and it sounds really cool, I've got to then go, hang on a second, what's
Yeah,
our
I gotta do that.
I just fire and forget.
Yeah, the only thing I can do relatively well is kilograms to pounds. And
So
Weights.
I can do that because I'm
yeah,
a baker.
that
by
is
trade.
not from drugs. That is from weightlifting.
I already ran interference for you instead of some weightlifting.
I know
We all
you
know where
did.
it's from.
I appreciated that.
I'm a baker by trade, a bread baker, and it's funny how the normal bread loaf sizes here in the here in Australia are based on weights from the US rather than the weights from the UK.
Oh, jeez.
Even though in the UK they still use pounds for some of the measurements as well as kilos, so a lot of their recipes interchange. So
Oh,
I've got to
man.
remember that 450 grams is 1 pound, 2.25 pounds to a kilo.
That's like having a home set, a Otis set, and AD&D trying to make them all work together. That's crazy
Nerd.
talk, man. That's not possible.
Throw in some Call of Cthulhu.
That's right.
Totally
We
different
call it
system.
the young guy mash, because when we had 2 Robux and no money, you could make it all work.
You could.
You can't
Which-
do that now. Buy the real rulebook for people who sell it.
Which brings me to my first gotcha question for Heath.
Go
What
for it.
is your earliest RPG memory?
My earliest RPG, as in tabletop, not game book.
Whatever.
Okay.
Take that question wherever you want it to go.
Hang on, sorry, just got to check, make sure that's not work. No, that's not work. Cool. Even on holidays, I'm on. I've got to keep a check of anything.
Man,
The fact that
you're
you're on
essential.
call for a booze store is A-okay.
You live in the world's greatest country.
Yeah.
We want to move, but you won't let us. There's a rule about letting people in. You guys have that.
Yes, you have to be a criminal.
Well,
Yeah, I said it.
Actually, we want to.
Here.
I don't know about the rest of Australia, but I definitely want to extend honorary citizenship to Robert Downey Jr. for his portrayal of Kirk Lazarus in Tropic Thunder. What the crikey fuck's going on?
That was amazing.
I laughed so hard. I think he was more Australian than Crocodile Dundee.
Okay, so
Could be.
started Israel. Go ahead.
Okay.
Right, so earliest RPG memory was with some friends in Katherine in the Northern Territory, which is about 300 km south of Darwin. We're sort of around some of the areas where Crocodile Dundee was filmed. So that's about 220 miles south of Darwin.
Do it again.
I played. I'm pretty sure it wasn't red box stuff. I'm pretty sure it was AD&D, or it may even with some friends, and his older brother was running it. And I remember playing a dwarf fighter, very quick and easy sort of thing. And we did that for a couple of weeks before he discovered Rifts. And so I love Rifts for that, tech future sort of thing. And I've got a bunch of their books, but the system was always clunky. So for us as high school kids, we just went, we'll ignore that part and we'll keep going with this sort of thing. So, someone played a mega juicer and a juicer, and someone played, a glitter boy, and someone was playing a dog boy or something like that from the coalition. And, that was a lot of fun. And we kind of flitted back to D&D a couple of times, but it wasn't until I came down here in 97 for uni that I met a group, and if you've watched my live streams, you've heard me talk about Grant, who's one of my best mates, and
Yeah.
I met him, and we played a lot of D&D, and it was AD&D and second ed, and then on to skills and powers, and then third, and then 3.5, and I haven't dove into fifth ed yet, and I got smacked by the local Adventurers League guy going, it's like, it's been out for years, how can you not play it? Like, my son's 8 years old, you do the maths. I just literally haven't been able to get to sit down.
I can't get there yet.
Like, truthfully, at Concentric and at the one time at GaryCon has probably been the only times I've been able to really sit down and game.
Oh boy.
And I don't bemoan that. Like, I love my boy to bits. I've got a Hero Quest, a board game with a couple of the expansions, and he loves that to bits. My wife's a non-gamer. I still love her to bits. I love you, honey. But
Now a hammer's gonna come
happens to all
flying
of
in.
us. It's not just me. It isn't just me.
But he's dragged her into playing. Mummy, come and play. And my wife's played, and she absolutely upset him one day. We were just sort of spitballing and going through this dungeon, and we were throwing extra monsters in there and extra treasure, and he was one-shotting these things, and we got all the way to the end with the gargoyle, and he hit it a couple of times, a couple of characters, and missed, and then it was Mummy's turn with, I think it was even the wizard, and hit it and just killed it outright. And
awesome.
He wanted, and my son was 6, and he wanted to table flip because he killed everything. Mummy kills the bad guy, and that's it. I'm done.
It's like, kid, just get used to this. Your mom is always going to be more important and better.
But
Just let it happen.
Fun. It was fun, and my wife knows that I won't pressure her into playing any D&D or anything like that. She knows that if she wants to have a go at it, I've got some friends that want to run a game. My best mate Grant, his wife Kelly runs games. We've got another mate Greg that runs games, and they've all said if you want to play, let us know. Otherwise, we're not gonna push.
Right.
Which is a great. It's a great equilibrium to have amongst friends. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen friends where they go like, oh, you know, she doesn't want to play. Well, why is she hanging around? Like, well, hey, I married her. You know, I've seen a mate play like I married her.
Yeah.
Like, this is that sort of thing.
Another good answer.
Like, it's not like
Another
she's
good
going to go
answer.
for a drive. This is her place.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and
Why
that
is
sort of-
she hanging around?
yeah. And,
Wow.
and that was
Your
a
answer
lot
was
of fun.
good,
I got to go catch up with him again and see how he's going. So, but you know, it's preceding those tabletop memories. My first foray into role playing on whole was Lone Wolf by Joe Diva. It was 1988-89. I was 10. And a book fair came to our primary school, I think, or elementary, as you guys would call it.
I hate finding out how young people are compared to me.
Hey, I turn 41 tomorrow. My son's birthday today.
Well, happy birthday. Happy
Cheers.
birthday to your son.
Yeah, I'm a child of 79. So hey, doesn't matter.
Post Star Wars. Look at that, Skeeter Green.
I know. Oh, that just made it real. Oh no. Oh.
I had neighbors that dragged me into Star Wars at the age of 5. So I still feel like it's been a big part of
They used to actually be in the theater all the time. No, I know. I'm 74, so that's
Well, the
still
other thing is-
here's
the other
grandpa
thing is-
though compared to us.
Yeah, I just got 5-0 a couple of weeks ago.
No, what I loved about your story about first playing D&D is it feels almost all of us, no matter where we are at least in the English speaking world.
Yeah.
The story's very similar. It always winds up with, and we were hooked.
Yeah.
See, these Lone Wolf books by Joe Diva, he actually, it was based upon a D&D campaign that he wrote after learning about D&D in the late 70s, and he was working for some of the Games Workshop guys, and he wrote this whole module, and in the end he sort of, because there was a gap, Livingston and Jackson were starting to do the fighting fantasy stuff, but
Right.
and this is why I never really got into it. It was different genres, different books within each book, and it wasn't linear.
Right.
Whereas the Lone Wolf was linear. You carried your character Lone Wolf from one book to the next, and that's why I really like that. And that's probably why I like D&D, because you progress through sort of thing. He actually was the AD&D champion in LA in 1982. So you know, it's brilliant. That's something I love. It's like I didn't find D&D and then I found Lone Wolf. I found D&D because of Lone Wolf.
That's
That's
crazy.
Awesome. He just passed not too long ago, Joe Diva, right?
Late November 2016.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because great stuff. Yeah. So,
Oh yeah, I. All right, hang on.
Well, you offended
Well,
a
you
guest.
know what? I scared him away.
Jeez, Zach.
So I
So
brought this Dragon magazine. You laughed at me for having. Oh, okay.
okay.
So
Who would have guessed that Zach would have driven away a guest?
No.
No one. It would be
Oh
me.
wow! Look at that.
so this is part of
Jeez.
the Cubicle 7 Kickstarter from 2014, and it took forever to churn through. This is the add-on only, was not part of any of the pledges, and therefore its rarity is alarming.
I've never seen
module.
one.
No,
That's the only one I've ever seen. Like anybody have. I've read about them.
Now everybody's going to ask to buy that from you.
Oh, hey, I can almost see it. Oh, there he is. Written by.
Wow.
Farnden.
so chapter 8 is my chapter.
That's
And
amazing.
I didn't know any of
was-
that. How
Congratulations.
come I didn't know this?
We just
And
thought
that
you were a
was-
regular dude, not an author.
Yeah, we know you're like an author.
I-
We don't like
like,
that
I'm
dude better
on-
than us on the show. Kick him
I'm
off,
on-
Peter.
I'm on RPG Geek with this and 2 other writing credits. one with the Skirmisher Publishing guys, which were I only did a couple of little tiny things in this giant book they've got for their setting, but they gave me cover credit, which I'm completely blown away and
That's awesome.
humbled by. And then Mark Tormino that has Dark Wizard. He did a Monsters of Mayhem, and I did the write-up for the Drop Bear.
Of course. Because aren't those everywhere?
It's kind of like, yeah, they were kind of like, I based it loosely on an owl bear and then gave it a really good Aussie flourish.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to take one of the questions from the chat that we don't actually have because I'm making this up in my own head. But I know somebody would want to ask this. In the States, pretty much any time a person plays a dwarf character, they have a Scottish accent for some reason. What do the dwarves of Australia have as an accent?
Yeah, we want to know.
Is it Scottish? Or, I mean, is that a universal dwarven trait? Or
I think it kind of is.
Or do they have a U.S. accent? Which would be hilarious.
See a thing about drows with Aussie accents.
Yeah, I saw that, which is what made me ask about the dwarves.
I did see a thing about someone saying about change up the accents where like an elf was got like a northern mids where, oh yeah, don't you know, sort of, which makes me laugh. When I played dwarves for the first time when I was gaming, it was just a gruff accent. There wasn't any Scottish to it, but stereotypically, I think it has kind of moved to a pseudo Scottish accent. If someone's not comfortable doing an accent, they just do a gruff voice, like, oh, I'll hit him with my axe, sort of thing.
Oh, don't be looking up me kilt. It's like you're a dwarf. You don't have to be from the Highlands.
We did do a like a Durga once with a pseudo Russian accent, like, yes, you give trouble, we send you to Siberia, sort of thing.
That is very on brand.
I remember we did, and then now when I say we, I don't mean just like Grant's group. This is other groups where I was either playing like just a rough one shot, or we were just spitballing ideas. We came up with maybe I don't know what was it, like a funny type of gnome. Not a snurt, was it Svirts, never, not something like that, but something like that, and it had like a South African accent. And they were heavy into tinkering and being artificers, sort of thing. And you know, this is not good. You know, well, actually, that's not.
Give me your best South African accent.
Hang on.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me get it.
My best South African accent is the way I talk all the time.
There you go. No, that's funny.
There's literally no change.
Well, here's the thing: us here in the northern hemisphere, we look down the southern hemisphere, and it's all foreign and alien dust, man. Well, we know your accent because you had that invasion with Olivia Newton-John and Paul Hogan for a while, and then we forgot about you. Sorry, no, that's awesome. I've never heard of a South African accent before. I don't think.
Yeah,
I know they speak Afrikaans and stuff, but I couldn't recognize the accent.
Well, my sister married a guy grew up in South Africa, and that's all finished now. But I remember he taught me a little bit of Afrikaans and some of their slang. And the one word that I can remember, I can't remember a lot of the others, but the one word I can remember is snotklap. And it basically means to punch someone in the nose so hard that snot flies out of their nose.
Well, that's not crap.
It's a clap, but it's more of like a clap, snot clap. You look at me, Zack, if you look at me like that again, my friend, I will snot clap you right on the face.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. I need to get in a regular chat with some South African people who
a couple of weeks ago, I went on a real.
They don't want to talk to you.
I know. That's what I got to figure it out.
So I got a couple questions if we're done with that one.
Oh boy.
I was just going to quickly say a couple of weeks ago for a bit of research, I was looking at like Jamaican videos and studying their patois, and go on with your boy.
Yep.
That's I just love it like that.
Ever since your Captain Kirk impersonation, I'm going to say you can do any of them. That was the best.
So what's fantastic is they put just enough of that in The Expanse, which I finally finished.
Love that. that patois was so good, and
Yeah.
it was pinched from all languages. It wasn't just
it
like
was.
a Jamaican wannabe. It was pinched from all
Shut
over.
up, Zach. No, and what was great is people would fade in and out with it, so it wasn't constant. It was a very delicate touch. Yes, now you can ask your fucking question, Zach.
Huh?
Now,
I forgot it.
Oh man! All right.
I'm having a blank. Hang on. What's his name? I've just quickly gone to IMDb. I'm cheating here.
You're killing us.
I am. It was in where is it?
I don't know.
Brain not working.
Well, we're used to that. You should see us on
Ashford, Commander Ashford, David Straight.
Oh yeah,
as
Ashford is great.
yeah, and I completely did not recognize him from the. I'm looking at this guy, Robert Ludlum's work. What is it? Oh God, I'm having a good one today.
Born Identity.
That's the one. I did not reckon. I'm looking at this guy like now. My friends and I.
Wow! I did not even put that together.
Yep. From
Oh,
Treadstone.
Zach, fine, fine. Ask your RPG
Actually,
question.
Hang on. I do have something for Zack here. He misplaced it when I was at GaryCon 8. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is.
Oh yeah.
I've got something for Zach too.
That was well done. Well done.
Ask your question, mate.
No, I'm just curious. When you went to GaryCon, it was 2017, right?
2016.
2016.
GaryCon 8.
I met you there with Skeeter. You were there too, correct?
Yeah.
What was your absolute favorite thing you did at GaryCon? You could get one thing.
Just one thing?
Just one thing.
I bet
it wasn't worth 20,000 Australian costs to get there. Just one. We'll try to cheat with two either.
Just one. And it can't be one with a subset.
Yep, just one.
It's just the one.
I killed him.
Oh, I'm gonna cheat.
I'm gonna say
my favorite thing.
I'm gonna say it was the coffee shop.
No. I'm gonna cheat and say my favorite thing was being the photographer. That way I got to interact with everyone.
That's pretty good.
That is
you're
pretty
a clever
good, though.
son of a bitch. I tell you what.
Yeah. I am surprised you don't have a law degree.
Well, then I have a follow-up.
That was smooth.
I have a follow-up. So since you interact with everyone, who was the greatest person you interacted with at GaryCon? One person. Fuck you.
The greatest person to interact with, and keep in mind there'll be a lot of very close seconds, so I'm shielding myself.
Right.
The greatest person to interact with at GaryCon 8.
That's right. This was an asked question. I know. Sorry. But you had to do it.
My mind is zooming through every day through that resort, and I'm replaying like 4 days in 4 seconds here to try and pinpoint something.
Zach, you are grinding this show to a halt, man.
I was just asking. I thought, what was your favorite person you met at GaryCon, Skeeter? What he's thinking?
I'm good. That I saw at GaryCon or that I met at GaryCon? It was definitely that dude that asked me to smoke the joint with him out in the parking lot. Because man, I almost died after that.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Does he have a name?
I don't remember who it was.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, go Heath.
Keep in mind, there's a lot of close seconds.
We know.
I would have to say meeting Jeff Easley in person.
Good answer.
I fanboyed a little because his art. I just love his art. Like, don't get wrong, like Elmore
Isn't he
stuff.
cool?
I fanboyed a little bit with Elmore.
I mean, he's super cool.
Jeff, and then meeting him, I think, was good. Like, don't get wrong, meeting you guys, meeting Luke, meeting Ernie.
We're fine.
Not even in the same ballpark.
Was meeting great. Yeah. Meeting Jeff was good because he just. Yeah, and I.
No, I say you had to get one, right?
Well, no, I didn't. I could have asked. I had a book that I carried over for Grant, and I had Jeff sign in it. And because my funds were limited, I didn't end up actually buying anything from Jeff, and like I feel so bad for that. But I didn't want to ask for anything more than something for my mate that I'd carried this book from 10,000 miles away, because the Sunday was the 6th of March, was his birthday, was Grant's birthday, and that was my birthday present for him.
You are far too nice of a human being. You should not be on this show at all.
Yeah,
we are awful
you're
in comparison.
fired.
Yeah, get out of this show.
No, Jeff Easley is one of the nicest people I've ever met. You fanboy over him. I'm real bad with two people, and I'll admit it. Earl Otis. When I see Earl Otis, I was like, he's just the nicest man. Skeeter's going to beat him up, but I thought he was the nicest man. And that's a true story. No, and then the other one that's
a really
I hope he
bad...
never watches this show is Alan Hammock. I think is the most badass dude.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Alan's a lot of fun.
Alan Hammock tried to fight me in a restroom like a man does. It's like he's like, "You
Alan
ready
Hammock
to fight?"
Took a picture with my wife and Skeeter's wife, like a beefcake picture. You want to know how big
Alan
man he is? He just did that, and boom, to us.
Alan got told off by Stefan Picconi and Ann Carlton for being on his phone in one of Stefan's games. Who are you on the phone with that's more important than my game? And he said, it's Heath from Australia. And Ann's like, who? And Alan's like, you've got to be friends with him.
That is fantastic.
That is a kick-ass story.
That is great.
And I can see Stefan doing that too.
This is the reason why. And my lovely wife, who's standing in the kitchen, and I acknowledge she puts up with so much.
Oh, you think?
This is why I package stuff up every year to send over to Gary.
Amateur.
Because everyone is so brilliant.
That's awesome.
Unless your lovely wife is going to stab you while you're doing this interview, you're not even in the ballpark of the trouble me and Zack are in.
She's looking at me, and I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, she can hear this, can't she? Oh yeah, that was a mistake on my part.
Yeah, whoops. We live in America. We're far away. We're socially distant.
I will never open a package from Australia ever again. Because I'm sure there's a drop bear in it with my name on it.
Well, Heath, I'll tell you this much. I really appreciate it. I don't even know what time it is where the hell you live, but
it's about 20 past 12 in the afternoon. We're in Friday, so greetings from the future. We're
time traveling.
I was in Guam, man. I know what it feels like over there in the future. It's pretty cool.
That is craziness.
No, but hey, I can tell you this much, man. It's a pleasure to talk to you again, like for this long, because I drive by comment at you all the time.
Right.
And I really had a great time at GaryCon meeting you, because like I said, what you got that so few people got is you have the true enthusiasm and you have the energy that is not cocaine fueled. It's actually pure, real person energy, man. That's awesome. And I think that's what makes it so fun to talk to you and to know that Australia is not that foreign. Well, you know.
And not because she's standing sort of, 12 feet from me. This is one of the reasons
that's striking distance.
And that's firing into melee range.
Yeah.
I'm a bundle of energy my wife does send to me. And I'm not just giving her lip service because she's there. And I think that's why we work so well together. And
that's
because
awesome.
of my energy, sometimes she needs to say to me, hey, you need to tidy and sort this out because I'm sick of looking at it. And that's what I've been doing partly for 2 weeks. And she gave me a pass to be on camera for GaryCon and that sort of thing. She gave me a pass for this afternoon as well. But
sorry, I screwed up the timing. That's my bad.
But she'll keep nudging me with this because I do have that energy level and I want to interact and I want to help. She grounds me and says, "Hey, you need to do this as well. Don't forget."
Well, whatever combination you guys are doing, it's fantastic.
Yep.
Much appreciated from the States. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't love Heath in the gaming community up here in the States. So,
yeah, it's a
much
pleasure to have you on,
appreciated.
man. It's awesome. And I tell you what, please tell your wife not to kill you this week.
Yes.
If she doesn't mind. Grounding you is okay as long as you can use a webcam.
Right. Yeah.
Just quickly, this year's Concentric, we're hoping to have a virtual element, and I would love to see you guys come along if I can kind of get it set up in time.
I will commit to it now.
I would love to see a bit of that as well if you're free. It's usually the second weekend in September. We just have to make sure it works for our convention organizer Ben.
Yeah, we did have
our local Adventurers League guy Mike. We did have him run a little bit because he's heavy into AL and he's written a few of the little things. And one of the things is if you've written it, you get to run it. And so last year at Concentric, he ran one of the ones he had a hand in writing. So we had, I think, 4 laptops on a table for Concentric 2019. And Mike and his son, Calix, ran a few. Actually, I gave Calix an old AD&D book I had that was a surplus. And I said, go and do great things, young man.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Hey, you have a good day, man. I waited this whole time.
I know you waited almost an hour to pull that one out. Hey, yeah, if you guys do, if you do the virtual element and you have people that want to run games, I can give somebody a Fantasy Grounds package for Crypt of the Science Wizard if they want to run that. I would offer to run it, but I am still not very good at it. And if people want to be online, I want them to have the good experience. So when I can do it, I will actually do it, but I can give the package if somebody wants to run that.
I
can totally go with that. I jokingly said to it was 2018, not venturing off because we're trying to wrap up here, but 2018 when I was looking to come over, someone said you should run a bunch of games, get people to play them. I'm like, yeah, what would my handle be? The Southern Hemisphere's worst DM? And Luke chimed in and goes, I'll put that on your badge if you like.
That would be fantastic.
No, but if you're looking for a virtual sponsor for your virtual con, talk to the Virtual Frogs, because honestly, we'd be interested in doing that. Cool, we don't sell a lot of books in Australia that don't cost $10,000 because shipping there is like basically like usury. But there was some virtual con swag that was going to be sent to me, but the shipping was going to be $75 US.
Yeah.
So I've had it sent for the moment to Kevin in Wisconsin just to hold for the moment for me, because I'm like, don't pay 75 US.
Yeah, it's insane. I sent a couple of crypt books to backers in Australia, and it was like, I think $37 to ship a $20 book, $25 book. So
that's why we do POD books.
Yeah,
so,
it was awesome.
Yeah. You guys have it rough, man. You have it rough. I admit it.
I've had a few people ask me to look into POD here in Australia, and there's nothing that's concrete and reliable that I found. There's a few things you can, but then I found out that they're shipping from the UK. Like, well, how are you? Well, and they've got a virtual presence in Australia as a print on demand in Australia. I'm like, well, hang on.
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
I mean, it would be easier to get it direct from China than it would be from us to ship it. That's true.
I supported the Lone Wolf. I supported the Lone Wolf Kickstarter that I wrote the book for, or helped write the book for. And there was an element of coins like the Lone Wolf gold crowns, so they're right. Gold coin. And it was the Melbourne company that did it. They get it all done in China. And I wrote to Cubicle 7 and said, hey, why don't you just get them sent from Melbourne to me? Say, oh, no, we've got to do it all through here. So it was sent from China to the UK, to Ireland, to their fulfillment centre, back to Australia to me.
Ouch.
And I'm like, so it costs what, $5?
Yeah. Per molecule.
No kidding. Yeah. But Heath, seriously, if you're going to do a virtual component, talk to us, because we'd be happy to.
Will do. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Skeeter Green, I will talk to you, though I don't really want to. Heath, it's a pleasure as always, man. As always.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody. And this is part 2 of our social distancing episodes.
This one had a lot more meat.
Yeah, this one.
Do I need to do this so I'm distant from Zack? I don't know how I'm set up on your camera.
Oh,
I don't know how you so let's do this. No,
it's all good.
All right,
thanks everybody.
Alrighty, thank you.